Hello. I did a thing and thought I would share. I made a cantilever box from some boxes I picked up from Dollar Tree, and that's what it does. I figured I'd share a little bit of how I did this. First thing I did was make a bunch of mistakes and drilled a bunch of holes where I didn't need them. And so I used the scrapbook paper to cover up my mistakes. But what I found worked was measuring the center of each box and then taking each half and measuring the center of it. And then you also have to center it this way. And where the lines cross, you'll put a hole. You want to be mindful that you put the holes where you actually need them, because as you can see, the middle box will have 3 holes, and the top and the bottom one will have 2 holes on the opposite sides of the box based on where the box is positioned. So the slats that I made came from a rectangular piece of board from Dollar Tree. You can see it's fairly thin. Here's the tag. It's called Wood Hanging Decor. And it was pretty easy to cut down with my X-Acto knife. I cut them about 1 inch wide, and then I probably could have done 1/2 inch, but I wasn't sure with the screws and everything how that might affect the wood. And that's something that you want to take into consideration when making your slats, is you don't want them so thin that when you go to open and close the box that you cause so much strain on them that they break. But what was I saying? Oh, to get the length of the slats, I just measured the holes that I drilled and gave a little bit of extra space on either side of the holes, because obviously you don't want your screws right on the edge, and just measured each set of holes for that. And I'm thinking you can see how this doesn't quite line up, and the front is a little, it doesn't quite line up either. And with that in mind, you have to make sure that your measurements are very exact. One thing you might consider is taking your 3 boxes and rubber banding them together so that they're up against each other nice and tight and flush on the sides. And then measuring and marking, and then putting your slats in place where they need to be, and then just extending the lines that you have on the box onto the slats so that you know where to drill the holes. I just measured the middle, and obviously not very well, which is part of the reason I have these issues. But I realized once I got the box together that that was probably what caused the issue, and putting the slats onto the box, not attaching them, but just laying them where they need to be, and then measuring out, taking the lines that you drew on the box to drill your holes, using those to continue on onto the slats. I'm hoping that makes sense. So actually, hold on a second. I have a box here. I'm thinking of doing this again. I'm not sure that I will do it to these smaller ones, but hoping you can see I've got the lines drawn on here. What you would do is just take your slat and lay it in position, and then hold your ruler over it, and then take your pencil to draw your, continue your mark onto your slat, and then do the same with the up and down, the vertical marks too, to get a better placement for, oh bother, let me get my ruler back in there, to get better placement for your screws on your slats. But you can also do this with paper, make your paper boxes. There's an origami pattern that would work really well for making the boxes. And then I was thinking what you would do for the sides, and I actually have a whole bunch of paper. I made some things for my stamps to go on, and it's just laminated paper, and I thought, that might be a good use for this laminated paper. So use these as the slats because it'll be a little more sturdy. So anyway, I just thought I would share and give a little overview of how I did it. The screws that I used on this one are number 6 machining screws that I picked up from Lowe's. They were the right depth and thickness, and then they've got little bolts that go on to cover the back end of it. And yep, that's it. I'm pretty pleased with how it came out. It could look a lot worse. It did until I put the paper on the edges because I had drilled so many holes. It's ungodly. I was wanting the box to open up with the boxes further back, but I was having a hard time getting the measurements right for that. So live and learn. I'm thinking maybe what would work for that, and I'll try it with paper maybe first just to see how it goes. But after measuring your initial marks, move everything over by however far back you want it. I was thinking, if I move this back to here, then move this mark that same amount of space over, and do the same with that too. I'm hoping that makes some sense. And then that way it's not centered on the box. It's a little off-centered. And in being a little off-centered, then the box will open up like that. And just FYI, it won't stay sitting flat. You would need to put something back here to brace it if you were wanting to leave it open like this. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and hope you all have a good day. Bye.